Manchester City versus Liverpool, the two super teams at the top of English football, coming together at the Etihad for a Premier League final. Whoever wins is most likely your league champion, which is exactly why they ended up drawing. Sometimes big games end up fizzling out into cagey affairs, but I'll be honest, this one was a bit of a classic.
This is football heritage.
With it ending 2 goals apiece and the points shared, what does it mean for the Premier League title race? My heart rate for this one probably sounded like a drum and bass set. The blood pressure created by both of these sides, if let out of my body, could have knocked out an elderly man, at least giving him a mild concussion. As I mentioned in the intro, Manchester City faced off against Liverpool at the Etihad, with the two teams a point apart. 1 point was kind of the order of the day, I guess, because that's what each side got. As after trailing at half-time, Liverpool came out of the traps quickly in the second half with a Sadio Mane goal to ensure that the points were shared. This after De Bruyne and Jesus scoring for City and Diogo Jota getting one back for Liverpool. Imagine Pep Guardiola going mad tactically at half-time in the changing rooms, and then you come out 45 seconds later, Sadio Mane sticks it in. Sounds like the wildest evening of most people's lives, that. Now this one was dramatic from the start, with Kevin De Bruyne scoring approximately 5 minutes in, taking it away from Fabinho far too easily, hitting it with his left foot and it deflecting in off the post. I'll be honest, lads, I didn't think we were coming back. Depression had set in, bleach was looking a little bit too much like one of my 5 a day, and the sexual tension between me and an open window from the 5th story of a tall building was higher than it's ever been. But 7 minutes later, and Diogo Jota managed to squeeze one underneath Ederson's body, which kind of set the tone for the first half. Ederson was on a bit of a mad one here, almost conceding in dramatic fashion to Jota again just a few minutes later when he miscontrolled a back pass and had to get the ball away basically on his own goal line. How are you conducting a goal line clearance from your own ball control? First John Stones a few years ago, now Ederson. Pep Guardiola wasn't exactly impressed by Ederson's antics on the touchline.
What is he doing? Please stop. Please stop. Why is he still going?
The worst part is, he didn't show any emotion facially, despite this probably being one of the most nerve-wracking situations you could ever be in. His neck had more emotions on it than his face did. He would at least be very comfortable in other high-pressure situations. We've already got everyone else out of the building. We need you to hurry up. Don't rush me, man. Jesus Christ. I know it's a bit warm in here. But I mentioned Kevin De Bruyne. He obviously got the opener, and to be honest, he was running our midfield ragged in this one. I think one thing that I was certainly disappointed with in the first half was our midfield presence. Not only in helping the fullbacks, Trent Alexander-Arnold got a lot of flack again because he wasn't coping well in one-on-ones, but that's where someone like Jordan Henderson needed to help him out. He actually posted a TikTok of kind of like a behind the scenes of how his day started and how the game went. We are a segment in the day of the life vlog of this man. He is so confident of dominating our midfield, he probably filmed a sponsored integration at half-time. At least he didn't get any help from former teammates in terms of content.
Tried some different dishes. What do you think? Say something, it's a video!
But the early intensity in this game was incredible. Genuinely a first half of the ages between two of the best teams that we've seen in Premier League history. If Manchester United had been involved in this game to any capacity, Nemanja Matic would have put his hip out. Marcus Rashford saw the pressing from both sides and he had to get an asthma inhaler out to combat his breathlessness. He was sat on the sofa. Now, I did mention Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he was the topic of discussion, especially at half-time when Man City went in at the break ahead, as he lost his man basically for a ball in for Gabriel Jesus, who managed to lift the ball over Alisson. Jesus arriving on the scene again at Easter. Where have I heard that one before? If we take another look at the incident from Trent's perspective, he hasn't managed to stop the Brazilian very efficiently, in fairness. And then honestly, the second half was probably dominated by refereeing decisions, I think, and controversy. Obviously, it started well with Mane scoring, but I'll be honest, I don't really know how Thiago didn't get sent off at any point during the second half. Liverpool fans were conflicted seeing him steaming into his 7th yellow card challenge of the afternoon.
He's a knobhead, but he's hilarious.
Either way, referee, the VAR, absolutely shambolic. Fabinho was lucky for his challenge late on in the game. Again, freeze frames aren't massively helpful, but I can't show the video because of copyright. I can assure you it's not much better. Jurgen Klopp can at least iron things out now with Paul Tierney after the discussion they had back in the day. If you're the Premier League, right, you gotta keep this title race entertaining here. This was a Premier League Incorporated limited company business enterprises decision to make sure that it stayed a draw and to make sure that it went down to the wire, which is bold of them to assume because you all know we're gonna lose like 2-1 to Southampton or something. Shea Adams and his minivan legs are somehow gonna knock us out of the title race. And then came the 93rd minute. Seems like we've put a bit of pressure on, the ball's been cleared away. That's probably gonna be the end of the situation.
No, Riyadh, no, don't.
Yeah, I was shitting it. I'll be totally honest with you lads.
I'm fucking shitting myself.
Riyad Mahrez bearing down on goal, ready to cut in on his left foot like he does in every single scenario. I thought that was the end, and realistically, if that goes in, obviously the fact that Man City win, they've got an easier run in my opinion, and they're 4 points clear. On top of the way and the manner that you win that game in the 93rd minute, and you know, against your nearest rivals, it's deflating for Liverpool, it's incredible for Man City. I thought that was game over. And then Mahrez channeled his inner penalty versus us a few years ago and lifted it entirely over the bar, with, in fairness, the help of a deflection from Joel Matip. The game finishes, Pep Guardiola looks as if he's about to decapitate Jurgen Klopp.
Keep my wife's name.
And it raises the question, who's going to be happier out of the two sets of fans? I mean, realistically, we're probably saying Man City, you know. For them, you know, whilst there's still 7 games to go, anything can happen. It's in their hands now. It's not in our hands. We have to rely on them slipping up at some point. Then again, with the way the game went, with the amount of chances that Man City had, Mahrez hit the post from a free kick, should have scored right at the end. Raheem Sterling had a goal disallowed. You'd argue that with the way the game went, we did well to get a draw out of it. We're still in the title race, so we're happy. City is still leading the title race, so they're happy. I don't think our performance was that bad. Ultimately, we're going to the Etihad. Like, that's basically the most difficult place you can go, unless you're Adama Traore. But as I mentioned earlier, the one thing that concerns me is the fact that we, in my opinion, have a harder run-in than Man City do. Starting, of course, with Manchester United. Okay, maybe Man City do have the harder running, actually. Equally, 7 games is a lot of games. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily done at this point. There's still a lot of football to play. Man City have lost to teams like Crystal Palace already this season. But I definitely think that Mahrez miss could well have been a turning point. You never know. I want to know who you guys think is going to win the Premier League title this season. Man City obviously slightly in the ascendancy now, 1 point clear. So who do you think is going to be crowned Premier League champions? Let me know down in the comments section below. I've still got to back the boys. I've still got to back Liverpool, even though I can already see tremendous depression on the horizon. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.